Dave, I know you've got a son, and I know you love Moms for Liberty like I do. So what do you make of the debacle that happened last night on 60?
Yeah, look, I can't disagree, Megyn, with anything that you said, but I will say, even so, I still think it's a net benefit that 60 Minutes did that. I think part of the evidence for that is there are a lot of people on the left today who are upset that Moms for Liberty were platformed on that show at all. Tiffany Justice and Tina Descovich, they're very smart women. They knew what they were walking into. There's a reason that Moms for Liberty at their conference had media training. Look, that's the Lions, Dan. I mean, that you're right? You have to keep repeating. But we do this every day. They've been around for 2.5 years. Speaking of that genderqueer book, though, and this is why I say it's still a net positive. There was a moment just after what you played when Tiffany held that book up, and I think they blurred it, right? And Pelly said, well, that's a book for upper schools. And on very rare occasions, this is a paraphrase, but on very rare occasions, right, we see it in lower school, and went on to say, well, almost everyone would say that shouldn't have. Whoa, time out. Stop right there. That is not what almost everybody has been saying, Scott. Almost everybody has been saying that if you complain about a picture of a blowjob in a lower school library, you're a bigot and you're a transphobe and you're all of these things. So for that one moment, right, when he's defending the book that his own network can't even show, and when he's saying, oh, come on, 11-year-olds are only being showed pictures of blowjobs every once in a while, I think there are a lot of Americans who are smart enough to look at that and say, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Do we have the rest of that soundbite? I don't know how much of it we have cut, but let's watch the rest of that soundbite.
Tiffany Justice read from sexually explicit books written for older teens, but found in a few lower schools. Most people wouldn't want them in a lower school. But in a tactic of outrage politics, Moms for Liberty takes a kernel of truth and concludes these examples are not rare mistakes, but a plot to sexualize children.
Oh my God, that is so dishonest. These are not mistakes. These are not mistakes, Dave. We just pulled a couple from Libs for TikTok, which we love, on the number of places where you can find these books. Cherry Creek Schools in Greenwood Village, Colorado, Fort Worth Independent School District, Maine's Windham Middle School in Kimberly Area School District in Wisconsin, Denton, Texas, Los Angeles, California, Illinois Middle School, Tulsa Public Schools. I could keep going. Scott, how many is a few? That's just what we found in 2 minutes of Googling this morning. We're not 60 minutes.
Yeah, and much like illegal immigrants killing Americans, one is too many. I mean, these things being shown to 9, 10, 11-year-olds, one instance of that, if somebody showed that to my kid I'd want them in jail.
Yes.
That didn't used to be controversial, right?
Right, exactly. That's the thing, Stu, is it's creepy. It's creepy that these schools want this overly sexualized material in front of our kids. And he completely ignores what ideologies do you object to? Well, let me see if I can find it. I've done this before. The audience is aware of this story. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to find it. Okay, stand by. It's in my notes. But we pulled our children from their schools in New York City, as you guys know. Our eldest, who was in 4th grade, that school was literally circulating a, quote, scholarly article that they wanted to be mandatory reading for all faculty, accusing white mothers of indoctrinating their children in Black death. Scott, you're in New York, you dumbass. Do a Google search. Try reading the New York Post instead of just the New York Times. You might expand your horizons. It's happening. It's happening with race, it's happening with gender, and it's happening with inappropriate sexual content. All you must do is open your eyes and your ears. Get out of your stupid, myopic media circles for once and think about somebody else's children. This is what's so frustrating, Stu. This is why I was disappointed in this segment. I know that they manipulated Moms for Liberty. I know they weren't fair to them, but this is why you need fucking have me on, Scott Pelley. I dare you. Put me on. I will go on CBS News and you and I can have it out one-on-one, or you come on my show, wherever you want to do it, and we'll have a little redo, and we'll do it live so that you can't cut me up. But even if you do cut me up, I'm ready for you, because you will hear this shit in every answer I will give. And why is that? Because I have 3 children who are 14, 12, and 10. I've lived this. Okay, I'm hot again. Is it my advanced age, Stu? I don't...
I'm not a doctor, Megyn. I can't diagnose this over Zoom.
You want one of these cigarettes, dude? That was pretty good stuff.
It's just...
It's
too important.
I love the Super Bowl, but if I can see you and Scott Pelley together talking about this, I would tune into that instead. This segment must happen. Please make it happen.
Yes.
And I think, Megyn, I was born in New York. I lived in the Northeast most of my life. And part of the reason I now live in Texas is because I don't want what happened to your kids to happen to my kids. I don't want any of it. But I think a lot of people rest on that and think to themselves, well, look, I don't live in New York. I don't live in Berkeley. But you just read that list. I am sitting here in bright red Texas right now, and 2 of the districts you talked about surround the place I live in. Denton and Fort Worth are on opposite sides. I'm basically right in between those 2 areas. This is crazy, and it's happening all over the country. And it does indoctrinate people into a left-wing, sexual, racial, and in so many different categories, an ideology that is a hardcore left-wing thing. And it's important that you get people young to believe these things when they're young. That doesn't mean all of them are going to turn into people who are trans, or they use the word groomer throughout that, and obviously that has multiple meanings at this point in our culture. But look at the statistics. I don't know. Did everyone is there something genetic happening where people are becoming trans at the rate of 8 times per year? Is it really true that 40% of younger people are seeing themselves in the LGBTQIA2+ part of that community? I mean, it doesn't seem rational by any mention of science. This is because of an ideology. And the other thing that's crazy about this is you mentioned Libs, a TikTok creator who was on with Taylor Lorenz a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking, and it's you see the reaction of Taylor Lorenz when she shows her the same exact book. She's never even seen this before. How can you be talking about these topics without the basic knowledge what is going on? Scott Pelley knows his audience doesn't want to look at these pictures. Scott Pelley knows that if people are scrolling through their feed and that picture pops up, they'll likely mute or block the person who posted it because they don't want to see it. So they turn their heads away. And Pelley is depending on that ignorance to win this moment that he's having with his ideology. And that is despicable, particularly when it involves our kids.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I bought these glasses from Bond Charge. I use the orange ones when I'm watching TV, and I use the yellow ones when my eyes are tired from looking at the computer, and I love them. My whole family loves them. Sometimes your eyes are just tired at the end of the day. My little guy, Thatcher, and I put on our orange glasses, and we watched Liar Liar the other day. It was actually really fun. Bond Charge is a great company, and they have this whole approach to wellness that's holistic. So there's a bunch of fun stuff on their websites that you could check out because it's a brand dedicated to optimizing all aspects of your life. They're grounded in science, they're inspired by nature, and their evidence-based products cover a broad spectrum of premium wellness items like those glasses. Okay, but it's not just the glasses. From enhancing sleep and boosting performance to upping your energy and accelerating recovery and balancing hormones, Bond Charge offers a diverse range of benefits. Here's the thing they want you to consider now. Their infrared sauna blanket from Bond Charge that they say can burn extra calories and detoxify. This innovative blanket elevates your heart rate, simulating the effects of physical exercise. Bond Charge says sweating during the process will help eliminate heavy metals and toxins from your body. And setting it up takes less than a minute, and then it rapidly heats up for a quick and convenient experience. For a limited time, save 15% by visiting Bond, B-O-N, Charge, CHARG.com/MK, and use that coupon code MK. BondCharge.com/MK. Use the coupon code MK to save 15%. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.